Hey, welcome back to another online lesson. This is lesson 1.7. What we're going to do is we're going to solve ratio and rate problems. First off, by problems, a lot of times you're going to see ratio and rate problems in the form of word problems or number stories, and this is a perfect case of it. Use equivalent fractions to help solve the problems. Remember way back when we talked about equivalent fractions and equivalent ratios are really just the same thing. So let's break down this problem. Heritage Middle School has 150 students. 2 out of 3 students in Mrs. Mason's class prefer gel toothpaste. Use this ratio to predict how many students in the entire middle school will prefer gel toothpaste. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to start word over word. We have to figure out what two things are being compared. In this case, we're going to say like gel over the total. So we have a certain segment of students that prefer gel toothpaste over the total number of students. All right, now let's figure out, is there a ratio that we know? And there is. 2 out of 3 students. So 2 out of 3 prefer gel. So how many like gel? 2. And how many total are there? Well, 2 out of 3. Okay. So if there was a total of 3 students, 2 of them would prefer gel toothpaste. But in this case, the middle school has 150 students. So what if my total became 150? This is the mystery box. That's the number we have to figure out, is how many students in the entire middle school prefer gel toothpaste. So what we do is we look and we say, okay, the total would be 3 to 150. So how do I go from 3 to 150? The number's going up, so we know we have to multiply. Multiply by what? Well, let's figure it out. 150 divided by 3 would be 5. 15. Subtract 0, bring down that 0, and we have 50. So in this case, we're going to say 3 times 50 gets you 150. All right, so what we do to the bottom, we also have to do to the top. So in this case, we're multiplying by 50 times 50. 2 times 50 is 100. Cool. So we figured out our mystery number is 100. So therefore, the answer to the question is, predict how many students in the entire middle school would like gel toothpaste? The answer is 100 would like gel. Cool. Awesome. Let's look at another problem. In a survey, 4 out of 5 people preferred creamy over chunky peanut butter. There are 120 people at a grocery store. Use this survey to predict how many people in the store would prefer creamy peanut butter. Okay, so let's first start with word over word. What are the two things we are comparing? We're comparing the people that like creamy over the total number of people. Cool. So let's go back. They give us a ratio. They say 4 out of 5 people prefer creamy. So 4 prefer creamy out of how many total? 5. Okay, there are 120 people shopping at a grocery store. So how many total are there? There's 120 total. Perfect. Use this prediction to predict how many people in the store would prefer creamy peanut butter. So we have to figure out how many in the entire store will prefer that creamy. We don't know, but we have enough tools here to figure it out. So if the total was 5, if the total went to 120, we know we're going up. So what do I need to multiply 5 by to get 120? Well, let's do some division, and I'll do it right up here. 120 divided by 5, that would be 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract 2, bring down 0, that would be 4. So the answer is 20. So we're going to times by 24. 5 times 24 is 120, and what we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top, so we're going to times 24. So 4 times 24, I'll just do it to the side. 24 times 4, that would be 6, carry the 1, 8, 9, there would be 96. So perfect. We figure out our mystery number is in fact 96. So, use this survey to predict how many people in the store would prefer creamy peanut butter. The answer would be 96 like creamy. Perfect. Good. One more to go through. This one is not going to work out so evenly. We're going to deal with some decimals on this next one, so get ready. The Millers drove 105 miles on 4 gallons of gas. At this rate, anytime you see that word rate, you should think over the number 1. So anytime you see rate, the number 1 should pop into your brain. How many miles can they drive on 6 gallons of gas? Okay, so let's look at the two things we're comparing. We're comparing miles and gallons. So we're going to say miles over gallons. Now let's put our numbers together. 105 miles on 4 gallons. Perfect. At this rate, how many miles can they drive on 6 gallons of gas? Okay, so we've got to know how many miles. There's our mystery number. So how do I get from 4 to 6? Ooh, there's no real easy way. So we're going to find the rate. To find the rate, it's like building the rock in the middle. If you remember a few lessons ago and in class what we worked on, we built that bridge or built the rock to help us get to the other side. So let's build a rock. So is there a way that I can get from 4, boom, over to 6? Well, I know that if I use my rate, which is a rate is over 1, I know if I use my rate, I can get there. So let's put it over 1. So 4 divided by 4, that's going to get me to 1. So now we have to do 105 divided by 4. I'll do it off to this side here. 105 divided by 4, 2. That would be 8. Subtract to get 2. Bring down the 5 to get 6. 24. That would be 1. Oh, we can't leave it with a remainder, so let's add my decimal, annex a 0, drop it. 4, that would be, 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract to get 2. Let's keep going. Annex another 0. Bring it down. And 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Perfect. Boom. So therefore we know that with 1 gallon of gas, you can go 26.25 miles. Awesome. So now we're going to use that information. How do I go from 1 to 6? We're going to times 6. So if we multiply the bottom by 6, we also have to multiply the top by 6, times 6. And I'll do that work over here. This is 26.25 times 6. Awesome. Let's do it. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1 is 37. And 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Awesome. We got to add our decimal place in order to do that. If you remember way back, you figure out there are 2 decimal spots there. There are no decimal spots there, so we're going to move it over 2 times. Once, twice, boom, boom, boom. So my answer is going to be 157.50. Perfect. So now, how many miles can they drive on 6 gallons of gas? The answer is 157.50 miles. Awesome. Hey, we'll look more at this in class. Have a good night.